ACMi productions are only made possible with your support. Visit patreon.com/ACMi to learn how you can help. The following program is brought to you by Arlington Community Media, where we tell your story.
This is ACMi News, recognized nationwide as the first place winner of the 2023 Hometown Media Award for News Access.
Hundreds of people crane their necks to gaze at a massive moonshadow this week. We'll take you to Robbins Farm Park, where young and old alike witnessed the first solar eclipse in these parts in 7 years. Get ready for a little noise this week as the Battle of Menotomy comes to life 249 years after day one of our War of Independence. And now that spring has officially sprung, it's baseball season for the Spyponders. All this while Arlington High celebrates a new baseball coach, and you'll meet him next. ACMi News starts right now.
From McLennan Park to Spy Pond, from Poets Corner to the Mystic River, we have Arlington covered, giving you stories that count from people who care. Reliable, trustworthy, dependable. This is the nationwide award-winning ACMi News.
Arlington looked to the skies to celebrate the first solar eclipse in these parts in 7 years. Hello, I'm Jun Tao.
And I'm Paul Werlin. So glad you could join us.
Massachusetts experienced a solar eclipse on Monday, April 8th, with between 90 to 93% of sun blocked by the moon's shadow, starting around 2:15 p.m. and reaching the maximum just before 3:30 p.m.
ACMi News Director Jeff Barnes and photojournalist Alfonso Velasquez went to Robbins Farm Park to join the scores of skygazers basking in the sun, then the moon shadow, and then the sun again.
Yeah, it's so much easier with my glasses. Yeah, it's a lot easier with the glasses than with the telescope.
Robbins Farm Park was abuzz with hundreds of skygazers just waiting for our only natural satellite to cast its shadow upon them. Here in Arlington, we were on the fringe of the path of totality, but these folks who came out on a perfect day weather-wise did not mind being in the dark. What's it made of? You have a True Value hardware drum here? This is really cool.
Yeah, I've got a hardware store drum. I've got an old telescope from when I was a kid. You know, the main thing is that the sun comes through and it gets focused on the back of this screen. The screen material is kind of, if you remember, old rear projection TVs.
It's a small crescent for the sun, and the moon is like almost took it over it. And the time is 3:14.
The folks watching from here didn't experience a total eclipse, but it was pretty close. This was a 93% eclipse, a major step from the 63% eclipse Arlington saw just 7 years ago.
I'm really excited because the last time I saw the eclipse was in 2017. So
you did see that one?
Mm-hmm. I don't really remember a lot, though.
With what we've had lately weather-wise, it's incredible that we have a nice 62-degree sunny day out here.
Yeah, it's really cool to see everyone. There's a lot of young children that probably maybe some of them weren't even alive for the last one. And I don't know, it's just cool to see all the community here.
Now, is this the first time you're seeing an eclipse?
I saw the one in 2017.
It's pretty cool to see a bunch of people that I know. It's just this is the spot where everybody in town is today. So that's cool.
It's said that a solar eclipse can confound the circadian rhythms in all of us, including animals. But it had absolutely no effect on this dog, aptly named Luna. And as for the people...
8 minutes! 8 minutes, everybody! I'm the timekeeper.
It is very cool to see everybody with those telescopes, and if you can witness it with your own eye, yeah.
All right, now obviously something you're going to be remembering for the rest of your life.
Definitely.
Because of our orbital mechanics, 70% of all eclipses that occur on this planet occur over our oceans. Another 26 to 28% occur over unpopulated areas. So obviously this is a very rare opportunity for us mere mortals to catch a glimpse of an extraordinary celestial event. An event that can be seen by the human eye only on one planet in this vast and expansive solar system.
It's awesome. Oh my gosh. See, I can't see with these.
Something else, I'll tell you that. I've been waiting for like this eclipse to happen for like 7 years now. It's crazy. I mean, like, if you actually think about it, it's really amazing.
Have you ever seen a solar eclipse before?
I don't think either of us. We're both 60 years old, and we never have, and this is probably our last chance.
Well, tell me, doesn't this bring out the kid in all of us?
Absolutely, especially these glasses. I love the glasses.
The next solar eclipse that can be seen from the U.S. will be on August 23rd, 2044, nearly 20 years from now. So on this day in 2024, for this crowd of appreciative umbrophiles, it was just a marvelous day to catch some rays. Twice.
It looks like on the end of a movie, kind of.
For ACMi News, I'm Jeff Barnes.
And our thanks to Claudia Donnett of Arlington, who shared her outstanding photo of Arlington's partial solar eclipse. Arlington's town election 2024 is now in the history books, as all incumbents ran unopposed and all were reelected, according to unofficial results published late Saturday, April 6, 2024. Arlington Select Board members Eric D. Helmuth and John V. Hurd retained their seats, both with just over 3,700 votes. Now over to the school committee. Arlington School Committee member Jane Pierce Morgan was just 1 vote short of 3,800 votes, and Jeffrey D. Thielman received more than 3,600 votes. Assessor Gordon A. Jameson Jr. got more than 99% of the vote. Gar Talanian won his second elected term of the Arlington Housing Authority with more than 3,600 votes. According to the town clerk's office, voter turnout was just over 15%. For a full recap of this year's town election, just go to the town website, arlingtonma.gov/election. Again, that's arlingtonma.gov/election.
Are you up for a little spring cleaning after a long, cold, lonely winter? EcoFest comes to town beginning April 20th. Everyone is invited to help with park cleanups, plantings, and some serious weed pullings. Spring's welcomed arrival helps our community celebrate the earth and our place in it. And many events will be held between Earth Day, April 22nd, and the merry month of May. Events like an annual garlic mustard pool, a nasty invasive plant. There will also be park cleanups, a celebration of the local arts, puppet shows, and bicycle tours. Town manager James Finney recently visited our studio to tell us all about it.
EcoFest, again, going to be a long series of events, but it will kick off or begin on Earth Day, which is April 22nd, and it will run all the way through mid-May. So obviously EcoFest is a time of learning, volunteering, and celebrating the environment and sustainability, both of which are, critically important to Arlington and its residents. So there will be dozens of events during EcoFest. They're going to take place throughout and around the community. Almost all of them are free and open to the public. Several will be kid-friendly to, sort of get the younger generation involved. Events will include nature walks, trash cleanups, especially near our prized water bodies, movie screenings, bike tours, and more. So there will be a full list of events that are being developed, and that can all be seen at arlingtonma.gov/EcoFest. Visit their page. It's going to be, sort of like Patriots Day. It's going to be a really big deal in Arlington. EcoFest, does draw a lot of interest from our folks, and we're very excited to put on a number of different events for folks to partake in.
Get the latest on the EcoFest 2024 at the town website, arlingtonma.gov/EcoFest. Again, that's arlingtonma.gov/EcoFest. Do you have what it takes artistically to reign in the spring season? Arlington residents are invited to take part in the Arlington Heights Spring Storefront Window Painting event. It's sponsored by the Arlington Heights Community Association, Arlington Chamber of Commerce, and the Arlington Commission for Arts and Culture. This event will take place on Saturday, May 4 from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. You can be a solo painter or grab your friends or loved ones and paint a window together in one of 60+ designated storefront windows in 2,000 Heights businesses. Designs must have a spring theme like flowers, trees, birds, etc. The ring date is Sunday, May 5th. Online registration is Saturday, March 30th through Saturday, April 13th. Just go to the Chamber of Commerce website for more information, arlcc.org. Again, that's arlcc.org.
Next week, we will be marking the 249th anniversary of the Battle of Menotomy. This year's Patriots' Day reenactment will be by far the biggest one yet. 200 to 250 reenactors are expected to pour into Arlington, which is sure to inflame the British beyond measure. They will be more than inflamed once the townsfolk greet the Brits on their way back to Boston. What exactly happened in the Battle of Menotomy, and why was the battle so significant? In case you missed our preview report on the reenactment last week, we once again take you back 249 years ago when Arlington was blanketed with gun and cannon smoke, and the Redcoats were on the run back to Boston.
Mid-April 1775, roughly 700 British Army regulars in Boston were given orders to capture and destroy colonial military supplies reportedly stored by the Massachusetts militia at Concord. Now, if they could capture Samuel Adams and John Hancock, complete thorns in the side of King George III, well, that would just be icing on the cake in this particular mission. The British began their trek late at night out of Boston, crossed the Charles River, and marched through Cambridge, then entered the village of Menotomy, now, of course, modern-day Arlington, to get to Lexington and eventually Concord, just 11 miles away. The Redcoats would suffer more casualties than they had anticipated on April the 19th, 1775, in the battles of Lexington and Concord. And since they only had one day's supply of food and ammunition, they abandoned the idea of capturing Adams and Hancock and began to hightail it back to Boston as soon as possible. To do that, they had to use the very same route on the return trip back to Boston. But after Paul Revere's warning just hours before, along with William Dawes, Samuel Prescott, and a host of other riders lost to history and the battles that had just occurred, it was game on as far as the Colonials were concerned. They knew what the Redcoats were up to and continued to pour into Arlington from neighboring communities and the countryside. They would then wait for the exhausted Redcoats to march by. And what happened later in the day, right here along Massachusetts Avenue, would outdo the battles of Lexington and Concord in its sheer brutality.
If you want to walk in the battle footsteps, you start in Boston Harbor, you disembark in East Cambridge, you march to Harvard Square, then through today's present-day Arlington, all the way out Battle Road to Lexington and Concord, and then all the way back again. All of that 36 miles saw the battle unfold.
Lexington was really an accident. Concord was a skirmish, and it was really skirmishing until they got to the village of Menotomy, now Arlington. But really in Arlington is where it really developed into a full-scale battle. This is where the fighting really became very ferocious, very intense. It was of a scale that no one was expecting.
It went into people's popular consciousness as Lexington and Concord. 90 years later, Longfellow comes along and memorializes those two towns' role in it.
Listen, my children, and you shall hear of the midnight ride of Paul Revere on the 18th of April in 75.
And the story is set.
The battles at the North Bridge and at Battle Green and Lexington were hugely important, but they happened before all of the militias could get here. So they were humping to get here as fast as they could from Bedford, from Billerica, from all over the place. They were hiking in here, and this is where they were able to get before the British came back down the road. The British went up the road in the night. At dawn they were at the Battle Green, then they went out to the North Bridge to try to claim the arms that they thought were there, and then they started fighting their way back.
The Crown forces on their way back, every time they encountered resistance, they hoped it was the last set of resistance that they would receive.
The Royal soldiers were a real mixture. They were led by professional officers, some of whom had joined for military careers, some of whom had joined up just to further their own political standings. Lord Percy, probably the best soldier that George III had in all of North America, based upon his competence and his skill and his experience. Percy's troops, though, the majority of them were on their first deployment. They had never seen a shooting war. They had been encamped on the Common in Boston and drilling and getting bored and wondering what they were there for. This was their first real march out into the countryside. There had been a couple before, but this was the long one. This was the one with a very clear objective. Find those traitors, Sam Adams, John Hancock. Find the guns and the ammunition they've been storing and the gunpowder. Find them, bring them back here, get back to Boston Harbor by dinner time.
And what happened is about the time they hit Menotomy, which was then where the countryside stopped and settled land started becoming clear again, well, that's where everybody was waiting for them. A great deal of the fighting. They were fighting all the way back, but the sort of pitched battle was really here. This is where they took the biggest hit.
More and more Minutemen would arrive, more and more militia would arrive, and the fighting took a more brutal scope and scale as it went. And by Arlington, it was very, very intense.
The battle in its entirety was publicized just as fast as the colonials here in Massachusetts could write up their version of the story and get it on a boat, a fast boat to London.
I think very important for people to understand that this is where it really went down.
By the time the exhausted Redcoats reached Menotomy on their return trip back to Boston, they considered anyone moving inside a home like this a sniper, and they would shoot to kill if necessary. Nearly every home left standing, especially along Massachusetts Avenue, sustained smashed windows, wrecked doors, and bullet-riddled walls. The Battle of Menotomy would later be described by some historians as a very horrific and murderous street fight. And after it was over on April the 19th, 1775, the air here in Arlington was thick with the smell of gunpowder. The wounded and dying were crying out in agony. It was now time to bury the dead. Massachusetts and the other colonies quickly learned the hellish realities of war on April the 19th, 1775. The British regulars who survived that day would not soon forget it. The Battle of Menotomy was over, but the Revolutionary War had just begun.
We're also told there will be civilian reenactors in this year's battle. While the British ransacked the homes of Menotomy, civilians were grabbing their valuables and running for their lives. You will be able to find all the events leading up to the reenactment on the Arlington 250 website. Visit arlingtonma.org/Arlington-250. Again, that's visit arlingtonma.org/Arlington-250. This is a sure sign that spring is on the way and nearly here. Registration has already opened for the 28th annual Mystic River Herring Run and Paddle, set for Sunday, May 19th. Everything starts promptly at 9 a.m. at the Blessing of the Bay Boathouse in Somerville. As always, and unlike the fish here, you can run, walk, and/or paddle or volunteer to make this event a success. No matter how you take part, it'll help the Mystic River and surrounding waterways, and you'll be celebrating the return of the river herring. You'll be joining a community of thousands advocating for climate resilience throughout Arlington and Greater Boston. Last year, over 400 people came out to join the Mystic movement, and organizers hope to top that number in 2024. For more information on this fun event, just go to the Mystic River webpage, mysticriver.org. Again, that's mysticriver.org.
Is your TV service becoming too costly? Are you considering cutting your cable bill, or have you already done so? We have a proposition for you. It's called Patreon, and you've been seeing it in recent weeks on all of ACMi's programming, including our newscast. Patreon is a way for you to take part in a town-wide effort in allowing us to provide you with award-winning and compelling content that you will only find here at ACMi. Check this out.
Hello, I'm ACMi News Director Jeff Barn. Welcome to my messy office. If you watched our newscast last week, starting on March the 1st of this year, you noticed something a little bit different at the top of our newscast, and it's something you're going to be seeing with all of our programming here at ACMi. Take a look. ACMi productions are only made possible with your support. Visit patreon.com/ACMi to learn how you can help. Wow, what a voice. But hey, what is Patreon and how can you help using Patreon? Well, to explain everything is our youth coordinator here at ACMi, Jasper Hamilton.
It's all about joining a community of support, supporting something ACMi, whose objective has never been to make money, but to make resources available to the community. Offering free services and free workshops and free equipment is a really, really valuable thing. That value does not keep the lights on or let us keep up to date with equipment. We want to be able to continue offering what we offer.
I think it's very important for viewers, people go online and see our stuff, to realize that we make our money from a certain percentage of what the cable companies provide in town. Problem is, a lot of people are cutting the cable. And understandably so. The price is really high. So here's a great option where the community can be involved. And at the same time, you're helping us out to keep providing programming, government, news, everything else.
That's why we have two options on Patreon right now. So you can subscribe for $7 a month or $1 a month. And $1 a month, we were just like, what's the lowest number? If anybody feels like contributing, what's going to be the least detrimental amount of money? Probably $1 a month. $7 is because on average, we receive $7 per household cable subscription per month. So, we don't work for the cable companies. We work for Arlington. We work for you. It's more about the people, the voices in our community that want to be heard, the information that we see in government and in news that is completely unbiased, because it's just us reporting in the town that we care about. There's no ulterior motives. There's no big, scary corporation that owns us. It's just us like, 9 staff members just kind of operating and making stuff happen for people.
So an easy explanation about Patreon from our youth coordinator, Jasper Hamilton. Even a baby boomer can understand this stuff, and that's miraculous in and of itself. Hey, we want to thank the people already who have gone to Patreon to help ACMi out. And if you want to know more about it, all you have to do is give us a call. We'll be more than happy to answer any questions you may have. Give us a call, 781-777-1115. Again, that's 781-777-1115. Again, we thank those people who have already gone to Patreon to help us out. We're looking forward to hearing from you as well. We certainly can use your help. ACMi is part of this community, and to keep us going, we certainly would love to hear from you. Again, any questions you may have, 781-777-1115. We hope to hear from you soon and answer any questions you may have. I'm Jeff Barn, ACMi News.
Again, if you have any questions about Patreon, call us 781-777-1115. Our staff members would love to hear from you, and we'll be happy to answer any questions you may have. Again, that number is 781-777-1115.
Do you want to take part in one of Arlington's cultural treasures and have fun at the same time? The Cyrus E. Dallin Art Museum will be holding an online auction next month, and they are seeking donations. The auction will take place from May 9th to May 19th and will be launched on eBay. The museum currently is seeking donations like antiques, memorabilia, handmade items, gift baskets, and gift certificates. For your generous donation, the museum will promote your participation to the thousands of supporters via the museum's website, social media platforms, and press releases. Auction proceeds will support the Dallin Museum and its year-round efforts like tours, celebrations, and the annual First Lights event, which draws a major crowd at Whittemore Park year after year. To find out more about the auction or to donate, you're asked to contact Heather Lavelle, the museum curator, at hlavelle@dallin.org. Again, that's hlavelle@dallin.org.
Have you ever wanted to learn how to take great videos with good lighting and creative camera work? Did you ever wonder how we get our news stories or set up our in-studio interviews? Or would you just like to learn how to tell visual stories? ACMi is your place for one-stop shopping. We will be holding a series of workshops through April, all about good visual storytelling. Our staff here at ACMi will teach you everything from basic and advanced camera work, to lighting, to news ethics, and interviewing. Interested? All you have to do is email info@acmi.tv and look for all the workshops we will be doing. Again, that's info@acmi.tv. Take your pick of a TV topic. We've already had a lot of people sign up. We hope to see you there.
April has slowly been giving way to warmer temps because baseball is back. And the Spyponder varsity baseball squad has a new head coach. Here's ACMi sports producer Nick Atanakis.
Baseball, America's pastime, a sport that holds rich history on a broad scale, from the national level to the local level. The Spyponders of Arlington High School have quite the baseball history of their own. Arlington had years of prestige leading up to the now transitional point they find themselves in. A roster motivated to revitalize the program, and a brand new head coach at the helm of it all, the 2024 Spyponders are on a mission to cement their own legacy in a new era. The feeling amongst players was similar during their first official on-field practice at Spypond Fields: excitement for a fresh start and a hunger to win.
We got new coaching this year, but so far it's been so good, and we're just looking to have a good season and hopefully turn things around in this program. I think we got a good squad this year. We got good approaches at the plate. We're going to be good in the field, and I think we'll do pretty well.
I think we have a good chance this year. New coaching staff. I think we got some good young talent. I've heard a lot of good things about them. Tryouts were ran good, organized. So far so good. I'm excited.
Now, who is this new head coach for Arlington?
Hit and run.
Kyle Hood, an Arlington 5th grade teacher and former Spyponder, has ties to the town.
1, 2, 3.
Work!
Yeah, I grew up in Arlington. I played baseball in the program, so there's a lot of talent, a lot of history that comes with this program, and kind of taking over that. So I was very excited to kind of get this team, back on track and bring out the most in all the players. Big things to come. One of the first things I said when I got the job and I met with the players for the first time is, we're not just settling. We're setting the bar high, and we're gonna reach it.
Spyponders on 3! 1, 2, 3! Spyponders!
From ACMi Sports, I'm Nick Antonakis.
Thank you, Nick. That'll do it for this week's edition of ACMi News. I'm Paul Werlin.
And I'm June Tao. Thanks as always for joining us. Do you want to see how we put newscasts together here in Arlington? Stop by and pay us a visit right here at 85 Park Ave on Thursday afternoons between 3 and 5 p.m.
And if you have any news tips for us, stay tuned. In just a few seconds, you'll find out how you can contact us.
Meantime, we will see you back here next week. Take care.
You can always check out our latest segments and newscasts on the web at acmi.tv/news. And don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ACMi News. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. You'll find us at youtube.com/ACMi News. If you have any news tips for us or wish to become a citizen journalist, we'd love to hear from you. Email us at news@acmi.tv or stop by ACMi Studio A at 85 Park Avenue.
ACMi productions are only made possible with your support. Visit patreon.com/ACMi to learn how you can help.